A few years ago, I was fortunate enough to meet Tim Grover. If you haven't heard of Tim Grover, he's now a motivational speaker, but back in his heyday, he was known for training Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, amongst a long list of Hall of Fame NBA players. And I asked him, what was the difference between Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan? Those are two of my all-time favorite athletes, and you know, their games, both legendary, very similar careers, very similar playing styles. So I asked, what was the difference, right? From a guy that worked with them both, you know, very intimately, got to know them both very well. And he said the difference between MJ and Kobe was Kobe was more relentless. Mamba mentality. So he said, if I told MJ we were done for the day, we were done. MJ, pack his stuff, he'd go, be ready for the next workout. Kobe, however, Tim said, he's like, we could just get finished working out at 10 o'clock at night. I knew not to go home because Kobe would be back at 1 o'clock in the morning for the next workout. And in this video, I want to share more stories that I've heard from Tim about Kobe Bryant and the Mamba mentality, and how you can apply this mindset and not make the mistake a lot of people make when it comes to that type of mindset. So stay tuned. Mamba for life. Hey, what's going on, folks? Jimmy here in Grade and Train. More heat for you guys. And the other day I was watching the Redeem Team on Netflix. I'm not a big basketball guy anymore. I used to watch it as a kid. I grew up in the Michael Jordan area, Chicago. That's, you know, be like Mike. So I grew up in that time, but as an adult, I really just watch a lot of football. However, I never get tired hearing stories of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Those are two of my all-time favorite athletes. So when I got the chance to watch the Redeem Team, I was all about it, right? And those who are unfamiliar with the Redeem Team, you know, that was the team that was put together to help the United States get the gold medal back in basketball after fumbling their bag the previous few years. And it was a good story, well put together documentary. And again, the guys are just talking about Kobe Bryant, right? And a big reason I love Kobe Bryant is the Mamba mentality, right? He just had that level of obsession that just couldn't be matched. He just had that ability to channel his energy, all his focus into what needed to be done to come out on top. And I just love that. I just love that type of work ethic. And there's just a couple stories in there just epitomize like who he was. And I remember one of the ones LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were sharing, and they were like how they all went out to the club in Vegas and they were all partying, hanging out. And they come back to the hotels about 5 in the morning. They see Kobe Bryant sweating already on his way to the gym in the lobby. And they looked like, whoa, like, you know, they were inspired by that. Like, dang, they're like, Kobe, like, he's taking, you know, taking this thing serious. And it just, you know, they talked about how that sparked them to start working harder while they were out in Vegas. And it's funny because I hear that story and I think about what Tim Grover told me. And I was thinking, I was like, that was probably Kobe Bryant's second workout at that point by 5 a.m. Because I remember what Tim told me, where he said that, look, I didn't go home when Kobe was in town training because I knew he was coming back. Like, that's just who Kobe was. You know, when the story of when they were playing Spain, he said, I know they're going through Paul Gasol. I'm going to run right through his chest. And they were like, that's your boy. And they were like, they didn't believe he was going to do it. And he did it. And it shocked everybody, like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? You know, that type of relentlessness, that type of drive, that's, you know, it gets people going. It gets people going. It really is contagious, especially if you're winning. And that's the thing. Like, it's one thing to be that type of dog, but if you're that type of dog and you're not winning, then there's a problem. But when you're at that level like Kobe was, right? It just inspires everybody else to do better. You know, and that's why he Hall of Famer, you know, 5 NBA rings, you know, extensive resume. It's because he had that drive, he had that work ethic. And it's funny because back when he played, he was very misunderstood, even by me. I didn't like the Lakers growing up. I was a Bulls fan. I was a Sacramento Kings fan after that with Chris Webber, Jason Williams. I hated the Lakers. And back then, there wasn't social media, so you didn't see like the inspirational videos and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. You only knew what they shared with you. And a lot of the press of Kobe around that time wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. You know, there was, you know, the issue with Shaq. There was the sexual assault case he had to battle with. He had lost the Adidas endorsement. I mean, his name was like not good. Not good. He was a good player, but his name, his brand, his image was like at a very low point. And the ability that he did to rebrand himself is pretty phenomenal. It just goes to speak of just the type of competitor he is, type of person he is, to just do what it takes to come out on top. And yeah, man, like I just never get tired of hearing those stories. And I think what gets lost in that level of obsession is that most people, they be like, okay, Mamba mentality, or they look at David Goggins like, man, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna grind because I want to get XYZ result. I want to be, you know, develop a 7-figure business. I want to make it to the league. I want to do this and that. But see, the problem is most people, they're too dependent on the outcome. And when you have that type of drive, you know, that Mamba mentality mindset, don't focus on the product, focus on the process. I believe Inky Johnson, one of my favorite speakers, says that. Focus on the process. And I'll go back to the stories that Tim Grover told me about Kobe, was that Kobe Bryant, he was so religious about working on the most basic things. See, people think like, they hear like, oh man, he was working out 3-4 times a day, that he was doing like all these high intense weightlifting, sprints, plyometric type training 4 times a day. Like, no. He spent hours upon hours on the little things, perfecting his craft. It was all about the process for him. It was all about becoming, you know, the most fundamentally sound player he could. I mean, Grover said he would work on like basic moves that you learn in Little League basketball for hours. See, when you focus on the process, when you become so obsessed about the process that the result is a byproduct of that. But see, most people, they become obsessed with the result and then they try to cheat the process, or they're inconsistent with the process because they're not obsessed with the process. You must become obsessed with the steps that it takes to get to that level of success. Again, whether it's building a business, whether it's, you know, playing professional sports, whether it's, you know, moving up in the company you work for, whatever it is, you must understand what the process is and become obsessed about it. Now, your level of obsession will vary based on how high you want to go. If you want to be great, it's going to take that Mamba mindset. It's going to take that focus. It's going to take that sacrifice. It's going to take that discipline. It's going to take that consistency. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot if you want to reach, you know, higher up the mountain. If you don't want to get that, if you're okay with just being above average, cool. You know, you can get away with a little bit less. But if you really want to be at that top tier, be at that elite level, you must become obsessed with the process. Just like Kobe, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, anybody who you know, you think of as great, Serena Williams, prime Tiger Woods, that's what it was about. That's what it takes. So when you hear Mamba mindset, you hear grind. Okay, don't become outcome dependent. Be like, okay, these are the steps it's gonna take to get here. I'm gonna be obsessed with mastering each and every one of these steps. Once you do that, again, success, greatness, elite results will be the byproduct of that. Destination thinking is really going to set you up for failure, because you're going to cheat the process. You're not going to do what it takes to really get there. It seems like the goal will never be obtainable. You're going to frustrate yourself, and you just won't quite get it. Okay? See it all the time. So again, if you look to the greats for the motivation, for the success, read their story and understand, like, if you watch these guys, and it's just not Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was just an example I thought of. You know, I'll take it one more outside of sports. If you look at Phil Knight of Nike, Phil Knight didn't, when he was building Nike, if you read the story, Shoe Dog, he wasn't trying to build the biggest shoe brand, this iconic shoe brand. He just loved running shoes, and he wanted to build the best running shoe, and he was obsessed with determining what footwear would have the best technology to get people to run their best. He was obsessed with that. And that's what he was all about, that process, everything about shoes, how it helped the runners. And then over time, it blew up into what we know as Nike today. So focus on the process, guys, not the product. You're gonna get a lot farther, you're gonna get much better results. You're gonna become a better person, and that's what's most important. Again, like I talked about in other videos, it's about who you become in the process to achieving the things that you want. But you must become that person first. How you become that person? You become obsessed with the process. So, want to talk more about that? Shoot me a message. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the like button, comment for the algorithm, shoot me a message. We could talk more. Let me help you out, trying to change lives out here. Until next time, I'm checking out.